Hey guys, so I just got done watching My Spy, the new obligatory kids movie starring a big time action star. This time being Dave Bautista. It's pretty much just an unwritten rule that if you want to be a big time action star, you have to do at least one kids movie, or multiple. It depends on your career. Every big action star has done it. Batista, the Batista is just the most recent. You've had The Rock, Arnold, Vin Diesel. You get the drift. You pretty much get the drift. Pretty much, if you want to be a big action star, everybody has to do one obligatory kids movie, and so this was, another example of that. And this was a movie that I got trailers for quite a goddamn lot before everything shut down in March. I got trailers for this, like, I think all the way back since like last year. I can't remember, sometime last year. So I think that's because this movie got pushed back quite a bit because of that. I think I forget how many times it was pushed back. I think it was supposed to come out in January this year, but then it got pushed back to April, and then the pandemic happened, and but I don't even know if it was pushed back before that or not. But like I said, I got this trailer quite a bit, and I was like, whatever. It's like, I like Batista. I love Dave Bautista. I'm a big wrestling fan. I've been following his career, and it's awesome to see him have success outside of wrestling. Especially at basically, he started at like a really old age, or probably about his 40s was when he really got big in wrestling, and that's a really late age. And I'm glad to see him being able to find success outside of wrestling, especially for a guy like him who had a lot of injuries, and he is able to step away from it easily. And with stuff like Guardians being a big huge success for him. Like I said, when I saw trailers for this, it's like, it looks all right. It looks like every kids movie starring an action star I've ever seen before. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like it's going to be intolerable. It didn't look like last year's Playing with Fire, where it was like, oh god, this looks bad. And it was also being directed by a guy. Peter Siegel had been a hit and miss comedic director. He's made some good ones and bad ones. I found it funny, like the way they were selling it was like, from the director of Get Smart, and I'm like, I don't know how many people really even remember that fucking movie. Like, why are you trying to sell people on that this guy directed Get Smart? Like, I think he directed some Adam Sandler movies. Why don't you fucking mention that instead of Get Smart? I barely, most people probably don't even remember that fucking movie. That was like 12 years ago. He's made more movies than that. But I found that funny. But as far as the movie goes, now that I've watched it, I thought it was fun. I don't know if I was in a good mood or what, but I didn't hate it. It wasn't great. No, it wasn't great. It had a lot of problems. Of course it did. But I found some enjoyment out of it, even if it was unintentional. Some of the laughs I got out of this movie. I did have a good time watching it. It wasn't that intolerable. It wasn't like Playing with Fire, or it wasn't. If this is like like I said, in a category of kids films that star action stars, this is probably on the better end of the other end, the one end of the spectrum. That's where there's a lot of the good movies, stuff like Kindergarten Cop and stuff like that, and it's not like on the bad end of the spectrum. I found this movie, like I said, it's fun. I liked the movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. Dave Bautista is goddamn really got some great comedic chops. He is really funny. His dry sense of humor is so fucking great. Like, he proved that with stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy movies, how funny he can be with his dry sense of humor. And, like, he has, like, a kind of likability charisma to him that you it also is kind of charming, which also helps. Which is also kind of funny, like, if you know anything about him in real life, he can kind of be a little bit of the opposite, but also the fact that he's a very outspoken person who isn't afraid to say what he thinks about certain things, especially the wrestling business. But I always like Bautista. Like, he's always very even if he's very outspoken, that's one thing I really do appreciate about him. But he is likable, and he is very funny. God damn, that guy has some really good comedic chops. And he is convincing as an action star because he's a big motherfucker who I can believe would probably kick my ass. Like I said, yeah, he's a big motherfucker who can kick my ass. I do question... Man, I don't want to ask. I did have a good chuckle about his hair in this movie. I don't want to make fun of his hair in this movie because I'm just afraid that maybe he will watch this and find out where I live and kick my ass. But I do gotta question his hair in this movie. I've seen Bautista over the years. I've, followed his career, and he actually just was in the WWE last year. He didn't have as much hair as he had in this fucking movie. I'm pretty certain he had some hair dye going on there. Something like spray-on hair or some shit like that going on. I don't know whether he had some hair plugs in there, because that guy has never had that much head of hair in his fucking career. He's in his mid-50s. I highly fucking doubt. I know he was a little bald, too. I kind of question that. I don't know. I was kind of chuckling while watching. There's parts of this movie I was fucking laughing my ass off with Bautista. I thought the kid was fine. She's likable. She is that stereotypical kind of kid you see in these kinds of movies who's smarter than she is. She's smarter than most kids her age. Where she is very smart, savvy, and computer tech, and she is outwitting the fucking CIA agents who, let's be honest, Dave Bautista and Kristen Shaw in this movie are horrible CIA agents. I don't know how they've lasted this long, especially Dave Bautista. I'm assuming the only reason he did get lasted this long is because of his military service. That he did it, that he was like an army ranger or something like that. And I'm assuming that's why he's lasted as long, but he's not very good at his job. And it's pretty fucking obvious. And this little kid, like, is running circles around him, and it's kind of funny. It's one of those kinds of movies where the kids are basically outsmarting him and Kristen Shaw, and is smarter than most kids her age, and she wants to become a spy, and she's blackmailing him and Kristen Shaw and doing things for her because she finds out their secret hiding spot where they're spying on her and her mom. That's the story in the movie, because they're looking for this guy who has like nuclear bomb plans, and that's the uncle of the little girl, and so they're trying to see if he tries to get in contact with them. That's their job. That's why they're there, is to surveil them. Kristen Shaw, you got people like Kristen Shaw, who's really fucking talented, not really well utilized in this movie. She is that stereotypical character partner who is like the tech geek who isn't really an agent, but really wants to be an agent, wants to be a partner, wants to be an equal, but Dave Bautista don't see her as an equal or as a partner, and she don't like it, yada yada yada. And again, it's Kristen Shaw, she's good, but I don't think she's as utilized. I think she's a little underutilized, unfortunately. She could be a lot funnier. I've seen her in a lot funnier shit. Like even like Bill and Ted, that Bill and Ted sequel, she was a lot better than that in this. The mom is like, the mom, when I saw her, I was like, I know I've seen her in something. Like, where the hell have I seen her in something? And I'm like, I couldn't put my finger on it. I had to look her up, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's the girl from season 3 of The Sinner, the worst season of The Sinner. If anybody's ever seen that show, great show. Not a fan of that season. I was not a fan of that last season that she was in. But mostly a really good show. And she was good in that. She's good in this. I was like, she's a decent little actress. This movie does have problems. It does. Like, when you start thinking about some of the things about this movie that just are weird, it does crack me. The parts that cracked me up about in this movie did make me laugh. I will say that. Before I get into the negatives, this movie did make me laugh. Like, especially like Dave Bautista's awkward conversations he's having with people because he's like a loner and he doesn't know how to talk to people and like carry normal conversations with people, and it's like obviously that like causes some pretty funny moments, especially like when he's talking about how he had to eat a lizard by C4 by cooking it with C4 in like the desert in like Iraq or something like that. That was pretty funny. That's like just such a weird monologue. Also like that this movie is PG-13. It tries to like be a little R-ish in its rating. I usually with these movies that they're usually like rated PG. I was shocked when I found out this movie is PG-13, but it does earn its PG-13. There's like a decapitated head that floats by at one point at the beginning of this movie. It's very obvious CGI, and they hid the blood very well, but it was fucking funny. I was like, did I just see a decapitated head? I'm like, holy shit! Like the PG-13 movie, like they didn't really show much really any blood. That's how they got away with it. But like, holy shit! I didn't know you could put a decapitated head in a fucking PG-13 movie. Listen, there are problems with this movie. It's cliched as shit. You can see it where it's going It's not no really big. I take that back. There is one big surprise or big reveal about certain characters that I did not see coming, which didn't help. But it was like, what was the point of that? It was a little fucking goofy. I won't get into it, but there's a reveal about certain characters, side characters that made me go, what? I was like, that was a little goofy. There's some questionable things in this movie. The fact that he's surveilling, like, they have surveillance cameras all over the house. He has a surveillance camera installed into their bathroom. The little girl in the mom's bathroom. That's a problem. And, like, of course, the mom finds out at the end that he's a CIA agent, and I'm like, did she ever find out that he put a camera in their bathroom? She could he could be fucking arrested. That's a big fucking problem. Like, did he ever mention that, or did she never find that out? I was kind of curious. What was the other fucking thing? Fuck, I don't remember. That was one that I remember off the top of my head. I was like, that was fucking weird. The fucking the gay neighbors. The stereotypical gay neighbors in this fucking movie. Because of course there are the stereotypical gay neighbor friends. They're best friends with the main characters that give them advice, and they're like, oh, fuck's sake, can we get past this fucking stereotype? Like, they're so fucking stereotypical gay that it's not even fucking funny. Yeah, that was kind of goofy. I'm trying to remember what else. I think I've covered most of it. I'm very tired. It's like 4 in the morning, and I gotta go to work at like 8 o'clock at night tomorrow. But yeah, like I said, I recommend it. it's a fun sit. If you got Amazon Prime, you're like wanting to watch something and you don't know what to fucking watch, it's a decent sit. Yeah, there's better movies out there than this to watch, but yeah, it's not a bad sit. Like, you're wondering if it's any good. If you like me, you like Bautista, Dave Bautista. He's very funny in this movie. He carries this movie. He is like the best thing about this movie for me. Like, his dry sense of humor, and I got a few chuckles out. This movie got a few chuckles out of me, more than like a lot of these kinds of movies sometimes do. I got more chuckles out of this than like probably Playing with Fire, or I don't know, Pacifier, or The Rundown, or The Tooth Fairy, or some shit like, dude. Like, those are just examples I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, it's not a bad movie. What's next? Beast of Our Fathers, which again, I know a lot of people are going, what the fuck is that? I don't know much about it, other than I think it was shot in Hollywood, or shot in Ohio, where I live, here in Ohio, and it's a horror movie about Bigfoot, so that's all I know. It's on Amazon Prime, so if you want to watch it and see what the hell it is, along with me, then, be your guest. I don't know whether it's going to be any good or not. This is one of the best examples of I have no idea what I'm going into. It played at my local drive-in, so I don't know what I'm getting into with this. Like I said, it's on Amazon Prime. We'll see if it's any good. But until then, I will talk to you guys later.